Steve, you've had a few issues already. Any more?
Yeah, we got one or two issues again in terms of Kevin Nisbet picked up a little knock in training, so he's out for this game. Should be hopefully available for the weekend. I'll also look into maybe replacing or bringing another forward player into the squad after this game. And we've got a little issue with Stephen O'Donnell getting access to Denmark, which is a little bit of a curveball. It's caught us out a little bit, but it's just the way it is, with the COVID restrictions and the rules. Different countries have different rules. The medical staff, or the doctor and Graham Jones, have been trying as hard as they can to find ways round it, loopholes and whatever, but we haven't managed to solve that particular problem. So, yeah, I started with a squad of 26, I think, and we'll travel to Denmark with 18. Another issue was Jack Henry, who played in Belgium on 9 o'clock Sunday evening. And rather than fly Jack all the way back here, because he would have missed the UEFA deadline, COVID test was 9 o'clock on Monday morning. He wouldn't have made that. So we COVID tested him in Belgium. He's okay. He'll go direct to Denmark and he'll meet up with the squad there. So a little bit different to a normal camp.
Yeah, how difficult has it been then with all that and the fact that it's a quicker turnaround for this triple header compared to the others? No, the quicker turnaround is what's caught us out. Obviously, teams playing on the Sunday. Normally I'd be moaning here about lack of training time, but it's actually lack of COVID testing time. And to try and pull players into the squad has been just as difficult as rolling players out. It's something that we tried to do, but we couldn't quite do that. So we go with what we have. And I'll reiterate what my captains just said to you. We have a strong team on the pitch, and we have a good bench. We don't have the full bench, but we have more than enough to go there and be competitive in the game and get the result that we want. And that's the most important thing. And I think also on the back of all the COVID issues, it's worth pointing out that it's a global pandemic. Other countries, other teams have suffered from it. It's our turn this time. But in the scheme of things, football is a relatively minor issue. And not having players is a relatively minor issue because you've got people who are dying of the illness, people on ventilators, people stuck in hospital, people with long COVID, of which my daughter is one, so I understand it. And we have to put it into perspective. It's football, and we'll deal with it. Has transfer deadline day been a distraction for some of the players involved with moves? Probably a good distraction rather than a bad distraction for one or two of them. We're not in a position. It's obviously it's just another addition to, like I said before, what's been quite a disruptive week for us. It's just another little issue. We haven't had anybody have to leave camp because of that. We haven't had any big dramas on that front. And obviously, you'll know over the course of time, people that I'm talking about and what they're doing. It's not for me to say, but that's not going to affect us in any way, which is a good thing. And when you get little good things in a week like this, you take them.
Steve, Andy was saying there how tight the camp is and how much closer you've all got after the Euros. Is that something, particularly just now when you've got all these issues, that can really help you? Yeah,
I think so. And there's also a little bit in the Scottish psyche as well that we like to stand up in the face of adversity a little bit. And it's been tough getting everybody together. It's been tough trying to get work on the training pitch. Lots of distractions. But ultimately, like I said before, we'll have a good team on the pitch, and we go there to be very competitive. We're a really good Danish team.
Is it going to need a performance a bit like the one at Wembley then, when you had that adversity as well?
That would be nice. No, listen, we go there, like I said before, we go with good players, good team, and we go there with a realistic chance of getting a positive result, and that's what we want.
What have you made of Denmark, not just in the Euros, but in the World Cup qualifiers before, banging in the goals as well?
Yeah, they're the number one seeds for a reason. I think they showed that in the Euros. Obviously got off to a very difficult start for non-footballing reasons. They did well to recover that and get out of the section. And then from there, they progressed and pushed England all the way in the semi-final. So we know, good team, good players. We expect a tough challenge, but hopefully they're expecting a tough challenge from us because we showed in the Euros that we can also compete with teams at this level.
Steve, going back to that Wembley game, is that almost a blueprint for a big fixture away from home against a top side?
Yeah, I think so. I think on the night we defended well as a team.
not just the defensive players. As a team, we were solid. We didn't give much away. We didn't give too many chances away, and we were a threat at the other end of the pitch as well, which is always important. I think when you play with one of the top teams, you have to let them know that you can hurt them, and hopefully we can do that tomorrow night against Denmark.
Is this the kind of game, considering they are the top seed away from home, that you would almost be happy with a point, or you still going there to win even with all of the issues?
I think you always have to go and try and win. If you go and try and win and you come up a little bit short, you'll get the point. So we go there positive. We go there against the top seeds in the group. We're positive mentality. We tried to play on the front foot in all the games in the Euros. It didn't quite work out for us in a couple of them, but we played positively. We created chances, and I think, like I said before, if you can do that, then you always keep the opposition a little bit worried.
Denmark themselves were quite flexible throughout the tournament, switching 4-back to 3-back even in games. Does that pose a different kind of challenge to you?
No, I think we recognise the strengths of the Denmark team. We know the players that they can rotate in positions. They've got, looking from the outside, reading press reports, it looks as though they've got one or two issues as well with injuries and illness. So we'll wait and see what they come, whether they start with a back four or a back three. We'll just have to wait and see. But we'll be ready for both sides of that equation, if you like.
Steve, what's the issues with Stephen O'Donnell? Is it an actual head down in Denmark?
Yeah.
Because the COVID issues?
Yeah. So although you can get if you've had COVID, you can get an exemption. Oh, I've become a COVID expert. Although you get a 90-day exemption, but Denmark don't accept you until you're 14 days out of that, unless you have a negative test. And obviously, when you can test positive for up to 90 days after you've had COVID, and that's the issue with Stephen.
Okay. How much is all this played in your head with a team that you may have had in mind last week or 10 days ago to now? And have you had to change in one or two things? One or two things, which in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the scale of the disruption that we've had, one or two is not bad. So that's what I'm saying. I'm quite happy with that. I'm happy with the team I've got on the pitch, and I'm happy with the players I've got on the bench. And I think we'll go there and be very competitive. Have any of the players spoken to you about transfer deadline day in particular, because they may be moving, and this is a crucial World Cup qualifier? I would expect you would want your players to be focused 100% on that, but their careers could be on the line here.
No, the players, any players that have had those kind of thoughts in their head have been very professional. They understand how big these games are for us. So I've got no worries about that side yet. Quite happy.
And would you say that this is a pivotal week in terms of qualification?
In terms of qualification, obviously you have to keep picking up points. We've got two difficult away games and also a game in between that we have to get 3 points from. So it's always going to be a week that I think every week is pivotal. This one with two away games against the number 1 and number 2 seeds in the group is it's going to be an important week for us.
Last couple, Steve, with no Stephen O'Donnell, no Patterson, no Forrest, is Ryan Fraser the only option for that right wing back role? Have you tried anything else in training over the last 2 days?
Maybe.
Something up your sleeve.
You got your boots?
I think I've got cap number 7 coming up. No, we've still got a couple of options, but obviously Ryan's the obvious one.
Last question. In terms of Jack Hendry, it looks like he's going to go to Club Brugge. What would that do, playing Champions League football, both for him and in terms of Scotland playing at a high level? Great for Jack. If that move materialises, that'll be fantastic. And like I said, we haven't actually had time to catch up with Jack because of the COVID restrictions, which maybe in a way, if the move to Bruges does go through, has been helpful to Jack. If that's the case, then we're grateful to help. But we'll also be grateful for the fact that he's fit and available for us on Wednesday night.
Just a question from the Danish media. What specific strengths do you see in the Danish side?
I think all over, very good team. They play with great energy, great enthusiasm in front of their home crowd, who are also make it a good occasion. If I was a player, I'd be excited to go and play in that stadium against such a good team. They
They can score goals, they can score on counter-attack, they've got good pace in attack, strong in midfield, two terrific midfield players, and obviously they don't give too many goals away. They're a team that ask a lot of questions of you, and defensively we'll have to be ready to answer those questions.
Final question, are you ready for any potential surprises, for instance a player like Mohamed Darami?
Listen, we have to wait and see what the team they put on the pitch, and then we can adapt to that. I think I can't read the coach's mind. I don't know what's going on inside the coach's mind for Denmark, but I'm sure that he was happy with the effort of the players that played the most games for him in the Euros, and I wouldn't think their team will be too far away from that.